Hi, this is Derek Murphy of Creativity. I get this question a lot, which is, are permafree books still a valid book marketing idea in 2020? And I want to kind of address it going through one of my own books and some of the decisions that I'm working on today. So if you're not sure what this means, permafree just means you've published a book for 99 cents on Amazon, and you've also published it on other platforms with Draft to Digital or some other ebook distributor site, and set the price to free, and then asked Amazon to price match, because you can't set a book for free on Amazon, but they will price match to free. And they actually have a whole category just for free books. So if I look down here right now, it's 4,000 in the free store. I can see top 100 in the Kindle store. And then over here, they have a top 100 and top paid. So they did that because you used to be able to do a free campaign and get a ton of sales, and then switch it back to paid and keep that high rank and still sell a lot of books. That doesn't work anymore because they have the paid versus the free categories. And actually, when you switch back and forth, they will kind of delist you for a while so that your rank doesn't just automatically transfer over. So generally, you'll do a free promotion to get some more readers, but not necessarily to get more sales. I still recommend free books and perma-free books, especially if you don't have a platform, if you don't have an audience, if you don't have any reviews. You basically can't sell any books because your product isn't desirable enough. A free can be a simple, cheap solution to get more visibility without spending more money, especially when spending more money is not going to work anyway. If you don't have the reviews, you don't have a strong cover, if your product doesn't convert, doing a promo paid blast or advertising is also not going to work. However, you may have also noticed a lot of big time authors who are really crushing it and selling a lot of books. They have stepped away from free or 99-cent discounts or promotions. They will say things like, never give your book away for free, never discount your book away for free. They'll never do it again. It doesn't make enough money. And that's all true for them because they have a big backlist, because they have great products that convert really well. There are better things for them to do that'll have bigger results. And they will earn more money and a difference of thousands of dollars. So it's of course worth it for them not to do free promotions because they don't have to anymore. I don't think that advice is fair to share with beginning authors who don't have any platform or marketing budget. They can't spend thousands of dollars on advertising their new launch. So Permafree is a way, a low-cost solution to get some visibility when they can't afford anything else, or when their product isn't good enough to justify the cost of anything else. However, today I am rewriting Book Marketing is Dead. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I've tried a few different covers. This is the new modern version of the cover. It's got a lot of reviews, which is great. I've never been completely happy with this book. It was one of my first books put out in 2013, I think. Some of the strategies or tactics that I had written in 2013 don't work anymore or aren't recommended anymore. So I've started getting some negative reviews that, this information is outdated. So I'm rewriting it and making it better, especially because in the last couple of years, I became aware that there are some things you have to do when writing a nonfiction book in the first chapter or preface or introduction that I didn't have, and I recommend other people do for their nonfiction books. So I wanted to make sure I was kind of doing what I'm teaching, and I'm going back and revising these books. But so right now it's perma-free, and I also give it away as an email opt-in, or I've started to run straight ads so that people click on the ad and they go straight to download the book. So this is not only a lot of good content, it's also something I'm using to build my platform. And I've been fine leaving it on perma-free because it's not ridiculously long. People like it, which is great, but I think it could be better, so I'm rewriting it. It might be a little bit longer, but it's basically a short introduction to book marketing. And even though I'm not really promoting it or advertising or doing anything with it, although I do have a few random links on my blog, I could be doing a much better job on my blog of sending traffic here to get the free book. And you can see even with zero advertising, it's still #1 in entrepreneurship. It's #2 in small business and 17 in authorship, which isn't terrible. It's also not in Kindle Unlimited because I'm giving it away for free on other sites. You have to be careful not to put it in Kindle Unlimited, where it would have a better rank and get more visibility. except that it can't be in Kindle Unlimited if it's Permafree. So these are just the numbers of, with no promotion, leaving it as it is, kind of on autopilot. I get something like, hold on. So I get something like 7 downloads a day, maybe 12 average. Some days it's a little bit higher. So these are people who are downloading the book and hopefully reading it. They get to know who I am, my platform. Hopefully I say some smart things. Hopefully I give them something else to do. I'm getting better about that. But the point of a perma-free book would be to get them to the next step in the ladder, to buy another book or to sign up to your email list or something. So if it's not doing anything for you, and there are reasons. It's true that there's a lot of free books. It's true that people are downloading a ton of books, and they might be freebie seekers. Maybe they don't go on to buy books. Maybe they don't sign up. But it's also a numbers game. So what I've said in the past is that with a perma-free book, you can reach more readers who weren't ready to buy from you because they don't trust you or they don't know about you yet, but you can reach them. So it's like reaching a different market. And it's true that a lot of those people maybe don't read the book or they're not ready to buy. But if you get 1,000 downloads of the book, maybe 100 people become fans and buy your other books. So it's not necessarily an alternative. I don't think you have to decide between paid books or free books. I think it's smart to do both things if you can, because you're going to be reaching different audience. It's not going to convert as well. People who buy book one of a series are going to be more likely to buy book two. But, even if the fraction is much smaller, the people who download the free book, some of them may convert or become fans. So it might still be worth it. Not giving away a full book, but giving away, a 10 or $15,000 10 or 15,000 word prequel or novella. There's also a big discussion to be had about read through, because if you, for example, have a prequel that's not, it leads into your main series, but it's not the same characters or it's not the same timing or whatever. It might be the same worldview, but that, of course, isn't going to convert as well as a book one to a book two that has the same character and the same worldview. So I'm talking mostly about fiction. And also, I will say with fiction, the people who read fiction are more aware of that paid list and free list. So there are people who are just reading the free list books, and many of them may not want to buy anything. Maybe they're happy just to download thousands of free books and read them all. And maybe most of them aren't very good. Maybe they don't even finish reading most of them. But if your book is one that sticks with them, some of those people may follow you or may be interested in the next book, especially if you have a really strong opt-in offer or email funnel. You can't quickly convert someone from a cold audience to a paid audience, but you can do it slowly as long as you have the opportunity to communicate with them over time. Relationships are built over time. So if your free book is enough of an offer to get them to download and start reading, if it's good enough for them to finish reading, if they want more and you give them a good reason to sign up to your email list to get something else for free, not assuming that they're going to be ready, to go straight to a paid book, then you can introduce the rest of your backlist slowly over time while also building your brand or telling stories or making sure that you're not just promoting, but that you're building relationships, which is kind of what this whole book is all about. So I got a little bit off topic, but I mostly in this video wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about taking this off perma-free and switching to paid. So I wanted to kind of talk about why I might do that. Like I mentioned, this has like an average of 10 downloads a day on autopilot. I haven't really measured, how many of those people are signing up for something else. Probably not very many, because I don't think I have a strong opt-in offer at the end of that book. And by strong, I mean it has to be more than just sign up here to get, a free book. You have to say, basically, you've already gotten all of this valuable information, but the critical piece you're missing is this. It's a next piece that's absolutely fundamental. And I've written another book or another short guide about it. You need to go and download it from my website. So you have to really sell the thing. Just because it's free doesn't matter. You might want to show the cover if it's a great cover. You might want to show some reviews inside the book. You can't assume that just giving something for free will be enough to get them to click on something and to go and buy it. So you have to put all the relevant information in the back of the book to get more people to take action. And so that's basically what I'm doing. I'm rewriting this book a little bit to make it stronger so that the people who read this book are more likely not just to get a bunch of good value, but to know more about me, about what else I have to offer. Hopefully, sign up to something, or read my other books or whatever. I'm unclear because I don't really sell very well, so my funnels are really messy. But the idea is I could be doing better with these books. I have this content already. They could be doing better. So one of the things I'm looking at right now, optimistically, I'm getting 300 reads a month from this book, which isn't terrible, but it's also not that great. And the big problem is because Amazon has a different paid and free category, they've also started depressing the search results for free books. I think this was probably last year in 2019. It's something I've known about for a while. But it becomes frustrating when you realize that most people searching for book marketing guides on Amazon probably aren't aware that there's a free or a paid category, and they may not be looking in the free category. So even though, like I mentioned, if I'm here in authorship is a pretty big category for my audience. This is what people are looking for. The books that are in the paid list are going to show up in the search results better than the ones that are not in the paid list. I don't think I have any books, showing up really well here because I haven't been promoting my books very well for a while, at least my nonfiction stuff. Yeah, so I don't have anything in the top 100 of this category, which I hope to fix, for all of my backlist, but especially for the new book that's coming out later. And up here under reference, writing, research, and publishing guides, that's even a broader category, which means these top 100 are selling even better. And just for fun, while I'm here, I could look at number one in this broader category and check the rank, which is 339 in the Kindle store, which is really high. So that may be difficult for me to beat with a book launch. But I could look at some of these smaller categories like editing or fiction or writing skills, and see what it would take me to get number one in one of those categories. And so this one, just for the sake of research, is about 1,500 in the store. To my knowledge, it's still the case if you want to average sales that it takes about 100 sales a day to reach the top 1,000 in the Kindle store. So I could estimate that this book is selling 100 copies a day or something like that. And I'd also have to point out that this is a money-making book, not necessarily a writing book. So even though it's in writing skill reference, the audience is much broader and more general for this book than it would be for my books that are on writing or publishing. But my point here was that even though my book seems to be doing okay, it's in the top 100 free. So if people were browsing by category, then it wouldn't take them so long to find my free book. Here's one of my free books, The Plot Dot, which I'll probably leave on free because it's really short. It doesn't actually do that much. And it's all free content that I have on my website. Here's the other one in number 17. So this looks great. It's number 17 in authorship in the free category with no promotion. It's been there for a long time. It's not just it's not just ranking right now because I'm promoting it. It's there to stay because it's not that hard. It's not that competitive. There's also an argument to be made, I think, that if you have a book in the free store, you may be getting more information to Amazon faster. And what I mean by information is, I haven't looked for a while, but if I look down at my also bots, which look like they're missing today, maybe they're down here. So customers who bought this item also bought, those are the also bots. My also bots are pretty good. I have stuff by David Gaughran, Chris Fox, Nick Stevenson. So those are actually pretty decent. And a lot of these are free books, but not all of them are. So David's is a paid book. Some of Chris Fox's are paid books. So my also bots, even though this one, The Plot Dot, is a free book, and even though Book Marketing is Dead is a free book, my also bots are showing up pretty well. I don't know necessarily that my book is also showing up for their also bots on their page. Maybe not, because they're selling a lot more books. But it's still nice that I have some data going to Amazon where Amazon kind of knows what's going on, what kind of people buy my books, why they buy them, what other books to recommend. The fact that they're recommending the right kind of books means that I'm doing something right. If you do a free book promotion or promotion blast, especially depending on where you do it, but there are sites where they just, if you get too high in the free store and you get like 10,000 free downloads or something, they may not be the right audience for your book. And so after you do a free book campaign, sometimes your also bots can be all messed up with a bunch of random stuff that isn't the right audience for your book, which confuses Amazon and will result in fewer sales long term because Amazon doesn't know who to promote your book to. You want to make sure Amazon knows who the right audience is to your book so that they're promoting it. So by having a perma-free book, I'm sending Amazon more information because more people are clicking and converting, like I said, like 10 people a day or something. So they're learning from those people who are getting this book, even though it's perma-free. It also means, even though I'm not selling a ton, I've gotten a lot of reviews. This book wasn't always perma-free. Sometimes it was paid. I've said in the past that one of the reasons to do perma-free is because people's expectations are less. So if you give them really good value for free, they may be pleasantly surprised because most free books aren't very good. And that could skew your ratings higher because people are impressed with the quality that you're giving out in a free book. I think that's been the case for me. I don't know that that's always the case. I've heard other people complain that freebie seekers are less likely to positively review. That can sometimes be because they didn't know what they were getting into. Like if you have a paid book, readers are going to be more cautious about only buying books that they will like. So they will do more research and they will read about it and they will read the reviews and they'll make sure that, they're the right audience for the book. They'll kind of screen themselves out, which means, hopefully because you're charging for it, you've gotten rid of the people who aren't going to like it and you've attracted the people who are intrigued enough to actually pay for the book. So with fiction, you can get a whole bunch of people who just didn't even read the blurb or didn't read the reviews and are the wrong audience. And then they start reading and they're like, I don't get it. It's not for me. And you get negative reviews, not because the book is bad, but because you've accidentally attracted too broad of an audience. So that's something worth considering as well. But in nonfiction and for this particular book, it's worked out pretty well. I have a lot of reviews. Reviews don't necessarily boost sales, but they certainly can help, and you want to get as many as possible. But going back to the main issue, the main thing when people don't know about the free or the paid category, when they're not searching by category, they're just on Amazon, they're just searching book marketing. They're probably just searching by keyword in Amazon. That's how most people find books. And because my book is free, Amazon isn't really incentivized to show it early. Instead, they kind of guess based on best-selling books, but you can see there are some books that aren't even really about book marketing. They're about marketing in general, which is reasonable because if people are searching for book marketing, Amazon might think they are looking for a book about marketing and not just for, book marketing for authors. But the challenge for me and for this book is that even though my book is named Book Marketing is Dead, which means it should rank higher for the keyword book marketing, it doesn't show up in the search results because it's a free book. So I had to go down to page 5, and most people will never get to page 5 to find Guerrilla Publishing, which is my other book on book marketing at $4.99, which does show up in the search results, even though, like I said, on page 5, it's going to be almost invisible anyway. And so here I finally found it on page 10 of the search results, Book Marketing is Dead. So it still shows as free. It is in the general search results, but it's on page 10, which isn't really going to help me that much. So here's kind of the dilemma. I could continue running this as perma-free. I like giving one of my books away for free. I could really strongly push it to all of my existing traffic or audience. The downside is if they're already on my website or on my email list, I could give them other things. I don't have to give them free books. And I could also give them this book for free anyway, even if it is sold on Amazon. I could even make it more attractive by saying, it's usually this price on Amazon, but I'm giving it away for free. So it feels like it has more value. But because this book is currently perma-free, I can't really invest resources to marketing it because it would be lost expenses. If I was using Amazon ads, I can run Amazon ads to a free book, but I would be losing money. It would only be on the assumption that people who read the book might buy something else, and maybe I would be profitable later. So to flip the switch, and again, if I was just starting off with no reviews, if this product wasn't converting well, if I didn't know who my audience was, I may not be able to advertise at all because it just wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to compete. But since this does have a lot of reviews, the cover is okay. I am rewriting it, so I'm a little more confident about the quality of the book. So I personally feel like, I want to be really proud of my book before I invest in getting more eyeballs on it. But mostly just by setting this to 99 cents and doing nothing else, this book would show up in the search results. And if people were searching for book marketing and my book was 99 cents and it showed up, not on page 10, but maybe on page 1 of the search results for book marketing, then I would have more people downloading it. And money aside, you want as many people as possible interacting with your content. So normally I would say if this was a 99-cent book, and I'll bet I could test it, but from experience, my best estimation was if I set this to 99 cents, it would convert okay, but without advertising, it wouldn't really do very much. I might sell, maybe 5 books a day if I was lucky, which would be less readers than it would be at free. And so you would be at 99 cents. I also wouldn't really be making any money. I'd be making a third of the list price, basically 30%. So I'd make like 30 cents per sale. If I had 5 readers a day, it'd be 150 readers a month, which would be something like $50. So I'd be $50 profit from this one book, but I would be getting half of my readers. I'd be reaching half my audience because right now I'm for free getting 10 people a day, which is 300 people reading a month, which means also basically I'm spending $50 to get an extra 150 people reading my content, which isn't great, but it's not that terrible, especially because it's so easy. It's not really money out of my pocket. But things get a lot more interesting if I decide to raise the price. So rather than going for a 99-cent cheap deal, even though I like to have, a free book, a 99-cent book, and then higher price books as well in a funnel, the book by itself is easily worth $2.99 or $3.99. And I say that cautiously because you want to be careful about assuming value for your book. If you say I worked really hard on my book, it's got to be worth $5 or whatever because I spent so much time on it or because I invested so much money on it. Just because you think it's worth $5 doesn't mean readers will think it's worth $5. If you don't have reviews, if your blurb isn't great, if your cover isn't great, if nobody is buying the book at $5, it's not worth it at that price. So you can't just make those kind of assumptions. And even though it is also true that some people associate price with value, so if I put this price at $3.99 versus $7.99, some people may see the $7.99 price point and assume that this book is more professional, higher quality. I might be a more famous or more reliable or trustworthy expert on book marketing. It's true that people will make those kind of assumptions, and that you can sell the book at a higher price point, but you may be losing out in the number of readers. So earlier I suggested that for 99 cents a day, I might get 5 readers a day to buy the book at 99 cents, which isn't great, but it's not nothing. It's less than I was getting when the book is on free. But I could expect those numbers to go down if I raise the price. So if it's at $3.99, I might get 2 or 3 sales a day. If it's at $7.99, I might get 1 or 2 sales a day, assuming I'm not advertising, assuming that's just with organic traffic. So I would be cautious about raising the price because it depends on your book. If you just want to earn from your book, that's a different conversation. This particular book, I want to establish my brand. I want to reach more readers earlier on in their publishing journey. When they're Googling or searching on Amazon for basic stuff about publishing or book marketing, I want my books and my content to get in front of them because I know ultimately I'll save them a lot of pain and money by just learning to do things the right way before they get scammed by some big self-publishing vanity press. So I would rather make less money and get more readers, which is why it has been perma-free. But the thing is, things can change a lot once you actually start advertising your book at a higher price point. So I would probably change this book to $2.99 if I want to get started, which means I'm getting 70% of book sales and making about $2 per sale. It still won't be a lot of money, but I may be able to offset the advertising costs, which means I could be advertising, and at $2.99, hopefully I could still be selling 10 sales a day, 10 books a day. So not only would I, if I'm breaking even with my advertising costs, if it's priced at $2.99, and I'm spending, even if I'm spending $2 per sale and making $2 back, I'm basically break even. I'm still making zero money, but because it's in the paid category, I will be more visible. Amazon will be showing me to more people. But I would also just basically be where I already was. So the difference between $2.99 and Permafree may not really be that big a deal. However, if I raise it to $4 or $5.99 or even $7.99, which seems high for self-publishing, especially if you're trying to attract readers who aren't already familiar with you or your platform, then it may get a little bit more interesting. So at $5.99, for example, $5.99 is kind of a medium price point. This is also a nonfiction book for people who are writers who are probably willing to invest more in their book. In my experience, writers tend to invest a lot in their book, so they're going to be more comfortable paying $5.99 or something for a book about book marketing, especially if they think they're going to get something from it. They can easily make the price back of the book. If they learn one or two new things about how to market their books, they can earn back their investment really easily. I probably will do a case study. Once the book is finished and rewritten, I'll probably switch it to paid for a while just to test some things out. But my goal will be 1,000 sales a month because I know the audience is there. It's a pretty big audience. There's not that much competition in the book space. There are probably 10 or 20 books, that I am related to. I know most of those other authors. I know the audience is really wide, and I don't want my books to be hidden in the free rankings or categories when I think I have real value to provide. I also don't want it to be mistaken as a cheap or junky or unreliable book just because it's priced at 99 cents. I want it to reach as many people as possible. So price considerations aside, I know it's a messy subject. I don't think you should make assumptions, but you should focus on the numbers. So right now, this book is worth about 300 new readers to me without doing any work. It's only worth turning on the ads and changing it to paid if I'm tripling my efforts and getting up to 1,000 reads a month instead of 300 reads a month. And so that's just going to be kind of a cost benefit analysis. I'll have to probably test different price points. I'll probably have to test out the advertising and see what my keywords are and what my bids have to be to stay competitive. And this is something I can do because I have the book established. I've got a lot of reviews. The cover, the blurb is okay. So I know that I can be competitive. It's just a question of at what price can I be competitive? Am I going to have to bid, $1 per click? If so, it's going to be really hard to sell this book at $2.99, but it might be possible at $5.99. Those are the kinds of things that only the data is going to help you to learn. And it can be an expensive proposition to figure out advertising. I may have to be willing to lose some money before I make it all work. Especially when you're just starting out, if you don't already have the reviews, if you don't already know why people aren't buying it or why people like it. Often the other reason I like Permafree is because you'll get more data faster. So if you give away a couple thousand books, you'll get more reviews. They may not all be positive, but you will learn why people like your book and why people dislike your book, which can help you to clarify your blurb or your sales copy because now you know why people liked it or what resonates with them, what doesn't resonate with them. You'll be getting better about targeting the right audience or screening out the wrong audience based on feedback. So it's really hard to advertise a book when you don't have that kind of feedback and you don't know who your targeting or your marketing is. But once you do, it gets easier. But let's say, for example, that I am able to break even if I switch this book to paid and I start running ads on it. And again, this is only like it's possible because I have a product that converts, and assuming I have the time and the budget to figure out Amazon ads, because a lot of authors don't. So if you don't have those two things, Permafree is still an easy, viable option, especially when you're getting started. But at this point, it may make more sense if I can reach more people by putting it to paid. Opinions aside about devaluing literature or choosing between paid and perma-free, I just want to focus on the numbers and see how can I use this content to get the maximum results, which for me will just be how can I help more readers? How can I get this book to more readers? And by raising the price, I may be able to spend more with advertising for it to be competitive. At 99 cents, I may not be able to. At $3.99, maybe I can break even with ad spend, depending on what I'm going to have to spend on the clicks per ad, and depending on the conversion of my book to make that profitable. As a side note, people who are looking for book marketing, if they search for book marketing and they find this book, this is probably going to be the right offer. It's got a lot of reviews. I could probably write the blurb better, but let's say, maybe I have a 20% conversion on this page, which means people who are looking for book marketing find this book and see it and consider it. That's already a win because it's hard to get any consideration for your book. People are considering my book. People say you also need to get like 7 impressions before you even recognize that you're considering something. So the other advantage with advertising is they may see this book like once and forget about it. But with advertising, I can show up 7 times over a long period of time until they finally take action. So I might have 20 impressions before I finally get a sale. And the conversion might be lower. Like the people who are searching in the free categories and find this book for free, the conversion might be higher because they think it's free. Why not? That might be up to like 50%. So depending on the price, even at 99 cents, there's going to be a much smaller conversion, which again is why, perma-free can work more than a paid book. Because if your product doesn't convert, if people don't want to spend money on your book, the price doesn't really matter. You can't even give it away for free. You've got to fix those core issues before any of this stuff matters. Giving your book away for free for longer periods of time can help you to identify the reasons it's not converting faster. Whereas spending money on advertising, you're going to fail to convert. And without any conversion, you don't even know what the problems are. And that's an unsolvable dilemma. But at this point, at 300 downloads a month, I'm kind of stuck with Amazon's platform. So if I want to reach more people, I've got to move it to paid. And then I can consider which price justifies the ad costs. And I might want to make it cheaper, although the difference between like a 99-cent book conversion will be higher, but then like you're going to see a little bit difference between $2.99, $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. It's going to be 5 or 10% of a difference in conversion. But the question is, if I can charge a higher price point and spend more on advertising, even if my conversion is lower, if I get a lot more visibility until people eventually are buying it. Also because I'm assuming, and this is a different conversation, but why Amazon recommends certain books, like when I click on book marketing, probably what's happening is Amazon is tracking how many other people have searched for those keywords. And then they are showing the books that people who have searched for those keywords have bought. So people looking for book marketing have scrolled through the results and they've bought these books. So Amazon is making kind of a judgment call. I don't think it's necessarily true that they're promoting more expensive books first, although you can see a lot of these in the results are more expensive. Some of them, like this one, is free. It's just converting really, really well. So even though it's free, it's still getting a lot of views. But that's also because this is a one-page marketing plan. It's a really broad audience. So comparatively, compared to the other books that are just about book marketing, this one that's about marketing in general is getting a lot more conversion. It's getting a lot more downloads. So Amazon has more data, and they're recommending this book because they see that it's converting. So what you want is to show Amazon that a lot of people who search for your keywords end up buying your book by improving your conversion ratio, which is your on-page SEO and sales copy. And as I mentioned, I would rather have more people reading the book, even if I'm making less money. However, if raising the price and spending more on advertisements in a way that makes it sustainable so that I'm not just losing money, if that ends up having more conversion and more sales events so that Amazon has more data so that they can promote my book, I will end up reaching more people at a higher price point than I did at Permafree. I think that's a real viable possibility. It's going to mean spending money on advertisements, and my conversion is going to have to be profitable or else the whole thing will fall apart. If I can't get my advertisements to stay profitable at any price point, I'm going to have to give up and go back to Permafree. But at this point, I'm pretty confident that I can, which also makes things really exciting because, like I mentioned, I want to get 1,000 sales a month. So at 99 cents, I might be losing money. At $3.99, I might be breaking even. But at $5.99, I could be not only reaching 1,000 people a month and getting 1,000 sales, but I could also potentially be making an extra $1,000 a month on income from this particular book. So the difference between breaking even at $3.99 or making $1 or $2 per sale at $5.99, that's a big deal, especially when you're advertising and you're getting a lot of sales. If I'm getting 1,000 sales a month, then this book might be ranking pretty well in the paid ranks. 1,000 sales a month is, like I mentioned, 30 sales a day. So 30 sales a day is not crazy. I would probably be up in the 6,000 or 7,000 range on the Amazon store, which isn't crazy, but this is a specialized market. This isn't for everybody. This isn't general nonfiction. So even if I hovered around the 10,000 rank in the paid store, that would be pretty good. And I could still be getting new people engaging with my content while also not spending any money or potentially, boosting my passive income quite a bit. Anyway, that's all I've got to say in this video. I kind of just wanted to make a video chronicling my thought process. I've just revised a bunch of my platform touting this book as free, but I'll probably relaunch it to my list as free to make sure you can get a copy if you haven't already. And then I'll, maybe I'll try to get up to 500 reviews since it's already at 324. And I like to have just kind of a goal. So maybe I'll try to give away a few thousand copies of this before I raise the price again. But then I'll probably try to see if I can switch this to a paid product and start justifying it with advertising. I don't do a lot of advertising for my books, but mostly because I don't try to profit off my nonfiction books. I do a lot of nonfiction books, and I really just want to help as many writers as possible. I haven't really tried to use them as income boosters, but that's also, it's not a mistake not to make money with your books, but it is a mistake to let being afraid of the money keep you from reaching more people. If I'm stuck at 300 readers a month, I may be missing out of reaching 1,000 people or 5,000 people. If I could make the advertising work at a profit so that I'm not losing money, then I may be able to turn up my ads and to bid higher and to just let them run. People spend a lot of time keeping track of their Amazon ads, and I've definitely made the mistake where I've overspent a lot on Amazon ads that didn't convert and didn't pay out. But if you can get them to set up and to work, especially if you have a higher price point and a good converting product, then you may be able just to kind of leave them on autopilot and keep your book selling and ranking really well without actually doing any promotion, which is kind of what this book is about. Book Marketing is Dead. If you haven't read it already, keep an eye out on my email list or in the Guerrilla Publishing Facebook group. And I'll let you know when I do a promo with the new version, the updated edition, before I switch it to paid and raise the price. I might make another video later talking about that. Otherwise, you can kind of just notice what I'm doing once the book is paid, and see if I'm advertising and what the rank is and whatever. Hope this helps a little bit. If you have questions about Permafree or free books or anything else, you can post them in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye.